Get out. Now. People like you always cause trouble. That's what the other customers heard, a white restaurant manager, red-faced and furious, standing over a black couple as they gathered their coats in stunned silence. Phones came out. A few people clapped. Most just watched. But what nobody in that moment knew was that the quietest witness in that restaurant would be the loudest voice of all. The cameras. Today we're looking into a case that started as a humiliating public scene and ended as a lesson in what happens when power, prejudice, and proof collide. This is the story of a restaurant manager who threw out a black couple. But when the cameras started talking, his whole world flipped upside down. Marcus and Danielle Evans weren't doing anything extraordinary that night. It was their 6th wedding anniversary. No kids, no work calls, no distractions. Just the two of them, dressed nicely, laughing too loudly in the car on the way to a place they'd never tried before, Birchwood Grill, a mid-range family casual restaurant in the suburbs. Birchwood looked like the kind of place where nothing dramatic ever happens. Soft lighting, framed photos of local landmarks, a chalkboard that read "Welcome Neighbors" in loopy handwriting. The kind of place where the servers remember your order and the manager stops by your table just to say hello. Or, at least, that's what the Evans believed as they walked in, hands clasped. From the moment they stepped through the door, the staff noticed them. That part is normal, it's literally their job to notice. But later, on the security footage, investigators would replay one particular moment again and again. The hostess looks up. Sees Marcus and Danielle. Her smile falters for half a second. She glances over her shoulder toward the bar, where the manager is standing. And the manager, Craig Turner, raises his eyebrows and rolls his eyes. A tiny gesture. But the cameras don't blink. They see everything. To the Evans, the evening started off fine, just a little off. They're seated next to the kitchen door even though the dining room isn't full. Their server, a young woman named Lily, seems distracted, almost nervous. She forgets to bring water at first, then rushes over with it and apologizes 3 times in under a minute. Still, Marcus and Danielle do what so many black couples do in spaces where they're not sure they're truly welcome. They make themselves smaller. Extra polite. Extra patient. No worries, take your time, Marcus says. It's okay, we're not in a rush, Danielle adds with a smile. On camera, they look calm. Easygoing. Just happy to be together. What they don't see, but what we do, later, is what's happening at the bar. Manager Craig is leaning toward 2 regulars, beer glasses in front of them. New crowd tonight, one of them jokes. Craig snorts. Yeah. Hope they don't camp out all night for one appetizer and a tip in loose change. They all laugh. That's the thing about bias, it often shows up as a joke before it shows up as a decision. 20 minutes pass. Their drinks arrive. The appetizer is late. Lily keeps glancing toward the bar. On the footage you can actually see her wringing her hands, tugging at her apron. She walks up to Craig 3 times. Each time, he waves her away. In her later statement, Lily would say this. I told him the kitchen had mixed up their ticket. I asked if I could comp their appetizer or offer a dessert. He told me, don't bend over backward. They're already giving me a bad feeling. On the cameras, you don't hear those exact words, but you do see the body language. Craig's dismissive wave. Lily's shoulders curling inward. Her eyes darting back to the Evans table with guilt written all over her face. Meanwhile, Marcus checks his watch. Danielle stirs her drink. Babe, do you want to go somewhere else? She asks quietly. Nah, he says, forcing a smile. We've already settled in. Let's just eat and enjoy the night. They had no idea the night would be remembered by a courtroom, not a photo album. After 40 minutes, the appetizer still hasn't arrived. Other tables that came in later are already on dessert. Danielle flags Lily down. The camera zoom can't catch her words, but we know from multiple witness statements what she said. Hey, I'm so sorry, but we've been waiting a long time. Did something happen with our order? No yelling. No swearing. No threats. Just a tired, reasonable question. But what Craig thinks happens is very different, or at least, that's what he later claims. Lily goes back to the bar, voice trembling. "They're asking about their food again," she says. And this time, Craig doesn't brush her off. He slams his towel down, straightens his tie, and marches toward their table. From this point on, there are two versions of the story. Craig's version. And the cameras. Craig tells police later that the couple was hostile, aggressive, and intimidating. He says Marcus stood up, got in his face, and refused to pay for drinks they already consumed. He says he felt threatened and had no choice but to remove them for the safety of staff and customers. But when investigators watch the footage, the tone is different. Craig approaches the table with his arms already crossed. He doesn't smile. He doesn't greet them. He doesn't ask what the issue is. He opens with this: "You got a problem?" Marcus looks genuinely confused. He gestures to his watch, then to the empty table. "We've just been waiting a long time," he says. "If the kitchen's behind, we understand, we just wanted to know what's going on." Danielle nods, her hands folded in her lap. But Craig leans in closer. The microphone near the ceiling picks up enough. "Look, if you don't like the service here, you can leave," he says. "We don't need your drama." Danielle's eyes widen. She glances around, suddenly aware that nearby tables have gone quiet. "We're not trying to cause drama," she says softly. "We just want our food or the check." And that's when the shift happens. Not in the room. On the cameras. Craig's face twists. His voice raises. "You know what? I'm not playing this game," he snaps. "Get out. I'm refusing you service. People like you always turn this into something it's not." A few customers at the bar turn their heads. Some can't hear the exact words. They just see a manager confronting a couple. One of them mutters, "Good, those two look like trouble." Marcus stands up, slowly. Hands visible. "Calm. Are you serious?" he asks. "We've been nothing but respectful." Craig steps closer, invading his space. "Out. Now. Before I call the cops." Phones come out. Two people begin recording. One woman later says she was just waiting for the fight. There was no fight. Just humiliation. Marcus and Danielle walk out, heads low, leaving cash on the table to cover their untouched drinks. The door closes behind them. Inside, Craig shakes his head dramatically, loud enough for the bar to hear. Entitled people. I swear. He has no idea that he's just trapped himself in his own performance. What Craig doesn't see is that one of the customers who recorded the scene is uploading it to social media from the parking lot. And what none of them realize is that Birchwood Grill has just as much footage to tell. By morning, the video of the couple being kicked out has over 300,000 views. It's only 37 seconds long, but the comments are vicious. Some defend Craig. Some defend the Evans. Most don't know what actually led up to those 37 seconds. But Marcus and Danielle do something Craig never expected. They hire a lawyer. The first thing that lawyer demands? Every second of camera footage from the moment the Evans walked into the restaurant to the moment they walked out. This is where the power shift happens. For weeks, the Evans had only their word, their pain, and 37 seconds of someone else's perspective. Craig had a title, a uniform, staff who depended on him, and customers who trusted his story. But cameras don't care about uniforms. When the restaurant's attorneys review the footage, there's a long, uncomfortable silence in the conference room. They watch Craig roll his eyes as the couple walks in. They watch him dismiss Lily's attempts to fix the mistake. They watch him laugh at the bar about those people. They watch him escalate a calm conversation into a confrontation. They watch the couple put cash on the table for drinks they barely touched. They never see Marcus threaten him. They never see Danielle raise her voice. They never see any sign of aggression except from the man in charge. Craig's story collapses in front of the only witnesses that never forget. The restaurant settles with the Evans out of court. Craig Turner is fired. Blacklisted quietly from the local restaurant community. Lily, racked with guilt, gives a written statement and later quits, saying she can't unsee what I saw. And the community, once quick to believe the manager over the couple, suddenly has to face an uncomfortable truth. If there had been no cameras, whose story would everyone have believed? In a follow-up interview, Danielle says something that stays with you. The money doesn't fix what happened. But it proves we weren't crazy. We weren't overreacting. We were just black in the wrong person's story. This case isn't about one bad manager in one ordinary restaurant. It's about how fast we accept a narrative when it comes from someone in power, and how rarely we stop to ask what the cameras, or the quiet people in the room, might have to say instead. So here's the lesson. Assumptions are cheap. Humiliation is easy. But the truth? The truth has a way of recording itself, even when nobody thinks they're being watched. Justice was served, at least on paper. The couple cleared their names. The manager lost his job. Policies were rewritten. Bias training was scheduled. But here's the question that still hangs in the air, long after the footage stops rolling. If there had been no cameras, do you think justice would still have been served? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and check out our other true crime stories. Take care and see you in the next one.